Welcome to the Dominate Your Niche podcast with me, Ruth Ferreira. Here we chat to some of today's best small business leaders, individuals who are shaking up their industry and dominating their niche. The show tackles all things business growth, from strategy, marketing and branding, and delves into the secrets of what it takes to dominate your niche. The aim of this podcast is to empower founders with big dreams, small and micro businesses, and even solopreneurs who are looking to make a big impact. People who are hungry to learn from those who have gone before them and implement that knowledge to next level in their own business. So welcome, lean in, and then go take action to propel yourself towards dominating your niche in your small business. Welcome to the latest episode of the Dominate Your Niche podcast with me, Ruth Ferreira. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to Clare Lush, the founder of My Tunbridge Wells, a popular local events and lifestyle website. What began as a passion project has grown into a trusted online hub for families in and around Tunbridge Wells, with over 70,000 monthly website views, a Facebook community of 20,000 followers, 17,000 followers on Instagram, and a mailing list of more than 6,000 engaged local subscribers. And Claire's grown a very successful business. Can't wait to introduce you. Hi, Clare. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
You're super welcome. So, Clare, you have taken a local blog and made it into a successful, profitable business. What I would love to know is a bit about your business journey. Where did you start and how did you get to where you are today?
Ooh, okay. So, previously to starting My Tunbridge Wells, I worked in PR and communications.
I didn't know that.
There you go. Yeah, so originally I worked in entertainment PR, so promoting films and DVDs and that kind of thing in London. And then I worked more locally for a sports PR company, but traveling the world, actually. It was all very exciting and very interesting.
Yeah.
But obviously kids came along and that changed things a bit. But back then, I did begin working with bloggers.
Okay.
So, for example, when I was trying to promote a film, obviously this was years ago, so it was really all very new, but there were certain bloggers, film bloggers and sort of lifestyle bloggers that we were trying to encourage them to write about our films. And I always thought it seemed like a really interesting thing to do, but obviously I had no clue how to start a website or what I would write about. And sort of, although I liked the idea, I kind of parked it, to the back of my mind. So then fast forward to around about 2010, and I got engaged.
Congratulations.
And started looking into weddings, and particularly destination weddings. And I found that there wasn't very much information about destination weddings out there. And it was just like a topic I was really interested in at the time. So I decided I would start a blog all about destination weddings and
love it.
do it. And it was sort of just like feeding like my interest, and it was like a hobby initially. But I taught myself, probably using YouTube, how to create a WordPress blog.
Okay.
I still have the blog. And I never earned money from it, but I did some collaborations, like gifted collaborations with a few places. And that was really just like a practice. And I set up social media accounts for this destination weddings blog, but then when I was getting close to the wedding and got married, I just wasn't so interested in that.
Yeah, done that, no longer relevant.
Exactly, yeah. But in the meantime, I went on maternity leave with my second child from my PR and comms job. And because I then had experience in creating websites, I sort of got the bug. I was chatting to my NCT friends one day, and I was thinking, well, I was thinking I might start a blog just highlighting some of the activities there are to do around Tunbridge Wells, because I felt there was a gap
Yeah.
Although there was print media and there were a few different little magazines sort of targeted towards young families.
Mm.
It wasn't really anything online.
Okay.
So I started a Facebook page and I started a website, and it really grew from there. And it sort of started in the beginning, mostly being highlighting 3 things to do each weekend.
Nice. Always handy.
Yeah, and because I hadn't grown up here, I didn't really know, the places to go. And obviously things do evolve anyway, and but
Mm.
even like I'd never really heard of Penshurst Place when I first moved here,
Oh,
the
classic.
castle or any of those things. Um, and yeah, then so I built up, it was a really good time for Facebook back
Yeah.
then. Um, and so this was 10 years ago. I built up a really nice community on
Mm.
the My Tunbridge Wells Facebook page. I
Love
do
it. So
have a
let's
Facebook
go
group.
back to when you were starting it.
Mm.
What was your intention? So what was your kind of motivation? Like, why did you start it? Did you think it was going to become a sort of big earner for you?
Um, Definitely not at the beginning.
Hmm.
I definitely didn't go into it to sort of become like a content creator
Hmm.
and like
Weren't planning to become the face of Tunbridge Wells.
no. Thank you, but no, no, I definitely wasn't. It genuinely it was a way of sort of encouraging myself to try out different things. But I also love the idea of what's the word? Like gathering information all in one place. I'm quite
Yeah.
analytical, and just like
Okay.
having a calendar and having all of those things listed and having a
Yeah.
diary
You're quite an organized person, aren't you?
yeah. I mean, never as organized as I would like to be. If I didn't have 3 children, I think I would be more
Yeah.
organized,
Wouldn't we
maybe.
all?
But
Wouldn't we all?
yeah. Yeah, but but also I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with starting that kind of thing with the intention to earn money. But I don't think I could have dreamed that I would, that this would be a
Yeah,
full-time.
that you'd get to where you are now.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But
so early days, what was your strategies to grow? So you're just getting started, you're putting some blogs out there, you've got a Facebook group. How did
yeah.
you grow that thing?
Yeah, so a big way of getting traffic to the site initially was through my Facebook page. So I would share something and it would just go crazy, like if it was relevant, obviously.
Mm.
So I remember doing a post on 40 pubs with play areas. Now this took
Oh,
me a long time to create. So this was a blog,
yeah.
but I shared it on my Tunbridge Wells, and they'd never be on the Facebook page. They'd never really been anything like this.
Hmm.
And it just went crazy. I remember like at one point, because you can see through Google Analytics how many people are on your site, and there were about
Yeah.
10,000 people on there.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Gosh, that
don't
must have
know.
blown your mind.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that wasn't, it was they were all around the Kent area. So I'm guessing there were people from outside of Tunbridge Wells looking at it.
Yeah.
People were sharing it, and I tagged all the pubs in. So some of
Yeah.
them would have
Great.
shared it as well.
And
But
how did that feel at that point in time? What
yeah,
was
that was
going on in your head?
amazing. Yeah, it was brilliant. And then that's when local brands started contacting me.
Okay.
And I was thinking, okay, well, if they're asking me if I can share this or do that,
Yeah.
obviously I can't keep doing it for free
Yeah.
because it's my time.
Yeah.
And sort of alongside this, so when it became clear that I could probably earn a little bit from it,
Hmm.
I spoke with my employer about going back to work.
Hmm.
And they didn't love the idea that I was working on something that wasn't their business.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Um,
I'm not going to
and
ask who they were, by the way. I don't want to name
no, no, and they were
them.
amazing, but I do understand that because they were quite
Yeah,
a
of course, of
small
course.
company in size, and you know, I had, let's just say I've been a very, very, very dedicated worker for a long, long time,
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so they didn't love that idea, but I think they did sort of accept it after a while. But we were sort of trying to come up with a slightly different role for me.
Hmm.
It didn't involve too much travel. Obviously, I had 2 children by that point.
Yeah, two small boys. Well, how old were
Yeah.
they at that point?
They were 1 and 4.
OMG. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Intense time of life. Beautiful, but
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah. Um,
So you
so
left.
I actually negotiated a redundancy with them, and I think it probably worked quite well for both of us.
Yeah.
But with some of the redundancy, I paid to do a social media management course.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
alongside doing the blog, My Tunbridge Wells, I was learning how to become a social media manager. And I was almost using My Tunbridge Wells as a guinea pig or a case study. I did actually have a case study because you get given a case study for this. I think it was a 9-month course. Um, but the case study was so not me. It was promoting high-end baby bibs.
Oh.
Yeah, so like a baby bib that might
Gosh, I
cost
had
like
like the
20 quid.
cheapest baby bibs because they just got
Yeah,
disgusting. Oh.
yeah. But
Okay. Interesting.
these were for like, maybe for like a baptism. So that the baby might
Oh,
wear at a baptism
okay.
party after. Very, very
Gosh.
neat.
Do you know,
Very, very
it
neat.
always blows my mind what there's a market for.
Yeah. And you and I were definitely not their target market.
No, no, I don't imagine. I can't even picture my kids in something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but did you go down that route? Did you have a content creating agency at one point?
Yeah, a little bit. I worked for a few, I'm trying to think who my clients were. I worked for somebody called Lucy Hall, who is
Hmm.
she runs Digital Women and Social Day.
Okay, I don't know. Interesting.
She's
Anyway,
brilliant.
do you know what? I can go down this whole rabbit hole. Let's get back
Yeah,
to my Tunbridge Wells
yeah,
and growing that business. So
yeah,
people started approaching you. What was it like the first time you suggested that somebody pay you for it?
yeah. I
Was that
mean,
awkward?
what's that awkward? I definitely, yeah. I think it probably did take a bit of confidence to pitch it. Like,
Yeah.
I remember going, I won't say where it was, but to a local, like a really lovely place to visit with the kids, and
Hmm.
like organized a meeting with her. And like at the time my mum was over and she was babysitting the kids. Or she was looking after the kids so I could go for this meeting. And because again, I didn't go back to getting formal childcare because I
Hmm.
was able to sort of juggle, which was obviously one of the
Yeah.
amazing benefits
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
working from
Amazing benefit and an absolute nightmare as well.
yeah,
As we all
yeah,
know,
all rolled into one.
all of that.
But yeah, I went to this venue and I drove there. I just remember driving there thinking, wow, like they actually want to meet with me to discuss
Yeah. So
like
did
a
you have
garden.
imposter syndrome going on at that point? Or were you,
Um, you know
wow,
what? I
let's
actually
go.
don't think I did because I could see the results.
Yeah.
Like I could, because and that's what I love about online ad marketing because I could see how many clicks they'd had through to their website, all of that. So
Hmm.
I knew that what I had was of value to them.
Yeah.
I did probably feel a little bit nervous in the meeting and a little bit unused to because I'd never ever had marketing training or any, and at the end of the day, I am work at the salesperson as well as many
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
But I'd never gone through any training of that. And I still haven't, but I've listened to podcasts and things, but about it. But yeah, so that was amazing, and then it just sort of snowballed from there. And yeah, the more clients I worked with, I guess I grew in confidence.
Love it. Love it. So now I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say this, so we're going to edit if I'm not, but now you're at the point where your business is big enough that you're retiring your husband. Am I allowed to talk about this on the podcast?
Yes, although I don't think we can call it retiring your husband because he's actually probably going to be working harder than he ever has.
Yeah. Oh, what, he's looking after the kids.
Looking after kids, yeah. I mean, he will also be working with me on the business.
Yeah,
I'm
awesome.
just not sure. We're not sure in what capacity.
Yeah, love
Like,
it.
yeah,
Love
we'll
it.
have to.
Time to scope that out.
Yeah, we're having a team meeting on Monday, so we'll have
Love it. Well, congratulations, because
thank
to
you.
get to that stage is so many people's dream. So you should be
Yeah,
really
yeah.
proud of what you've built.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and
So
I guess it was my dream as well, probably. These things creep up on you and you're like,
yeah. And
hmm.
do you know what? Like flashback 10 years, you wouldn't have even seen that as an option.
No.
It's
Yeah.
amazing where things can build to.
Yeah. It really is.
Love it. So listen, one of the things that has most impressed me about my Tunbridge Wells is the loyal following you have. You've got a real sort of tribe of fans out there.
Oh.
How has that come about? Have you been strategic in it?
Um, have I? Well, I mean, again, Facebook was
Mhm.
um a big platform for me and a really great way to build up a community. I actually would like to get to start doing more on Facebook again, although it's
Mm.
hard to always know if the people are there so much now. Instagram now is more so my place.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
see you. Well, uh, I'm not on there that much, but whenever I am, your stories flash up in my newsfeed.
oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I try to be myself and as sort of normal as I can be. And I think what a lot of this is you get out what you put in. So
Hmm.
with Facebook, I did put in
Yeah.
so much time on there. And it wasn't like a strategic, like, oh, comment on this many people or do, like it was more just if I thought of something that I thought might be of interest, I would post and replying to the
Mm.
comments and sharing
Yeah.
and all of that.
So what I'm hearing there is consistency. You showed up consistently for years because there's a lot
Yeah.
of people who'd look at you and be like, man, there's this like overnight success of a business. But what
Mm,
they're not necessarily seeing is the toil behind the scenes to get where you are today.
yeah. I mean, I dread to think how many hours I've put in over the years. I
Oh
mean,
God, it's best not to think.
or like how many days I've had off because it's so difficult when you love what you do and do what you love,
Mm,
it's taking time off, that's
yeah,
another. But
always a challenge. And actually, that leads us perfectly into team. So it's not just you in the business. As I said, your husband's coming into it, and you've got a team of people behind you.
yeah.
How did you go about growing that team?
Well, it's sort of evolved over the years, and I've tried different things, and I still don't think I probably have the perfect sort of setup, but it's certainly a lot better than it used to be when I was just a one woman show.
Okay.
Um, so I have a great writer who has been with me for years now, Emma, and she it just reliably does my what's on posts each week, and then she'll do some additional ones because the thing is the content, so writing the big sort of roundups, 50 things to do at Easter, or the 20 best independent cafes. Well,
Yeah, it's got to be time consuming.
yeah, as much as I like doing it, it's so time consuming. So yeah, I have a freelancer who I've worked with for years for that. And then more recently, another freelancer who's been great. And we have a certain amount of hours per week. Um yeah, and then I have outsourced things like more admin kind of
Hmm.
tasks. I've sort of reined that in a little bit now because with my husband coming on board, I'm going to be passing some of that on to him. And I have thought about outsourcing the social media, but I
Hmm.
genuinely think to do it successfully, if you've got these sort of skills, doing it yourself is
Yeah. A lot of people outsource social media, but I always think for the people who are the face of their brand, like you and me,
mm,
nobody does me better than me.
yeah,
So I am quite possessive of my social media, and possibly
yeah.
you should be too. But
Thank you.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think, there's definitely a place for social media managers and they can do brilliantly working for certain businesses. But yeah, for working for a content, for an influencer, for lack of a better word,
Mm.
um,
How does
I
it feel to be an influencer?
um we say content creator now.
Content creator.
But
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
behind the trends.
Well, just because influencer says does sometimes have negative connotations because people don't want to be influenced, but we're all influenced by
Yeah,
each other. I'm influenced by the mum I
absolutely.
see on the school run with a nice coat on, or
Yeah. Never had that. By the way, for the listeners, me and Claire do the same school run a couple of times a week, and she's
We do.
never complimented me on my coat.
No,
I'm
that's a
waiting for
lie.
it. I'm waiting for it. Actually, you probably have.
I
I've got
have
a great coat I'm going to
the
wear next time.
navy one that I have the green version of.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry, I
Jules
take it
coat.
back. I take it back. Yes, it's a
I
great coat.
have, and it's lovely on you. And I would actually like it in navy.
Do you know, I've just got an amazing one from French Connection. Let's move on before we have
Yeah.
to cut all of this bit of the podcast.
Are you ready to grow your business this year? Join me for Supercharge Your Month, a 60-minute clarity and strategy workshop to reflect, plan, and get super strategic to make your growth dreams a reality. The first Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. for just £97, or free if it's your first time. My gift to you. Book on now via the show notes. See you there.
So, Claire, tell me about a time that you failed.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, I probably should have warned you questions like this might come up.
Okay. Right. I need to think about this because obviously I never fail at anything.
Oh, really? I
Okay.
fail all the time.
Yeah. I guess my biggest issue or sort of negative trait is not taking proper time off and focusing solely on my family. I mean, I think I probably am a workaholic.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that run their own business, it's a difficult one because I love it. So but I don't have, obviously I don't
It's your
have,
fourth baby.
yeah. And I don't have anyone to say, right, Claire, that's enough. You've done that. I mean, obviously my husband can try, but I then get a bit snappy with him when he tries to do that. So I think, I I think possibly failing at the balance a bit.
Okay.
And I think that is something that for, the next quarter, the next year, I really want to try and just switch it all off at a certain time each day and be quite strict about it. And
Good
potentially we
luck.
could start with one day a week, probably a Sunday or maybe a Saturday, actually. Just not looking at my phone, not looking at my laptop, just solely focusing on family life.
Okay, it sounds amazing because actually our kids grow up fast and we
Yeah.
don't get this time back. And
Yeah.
it's really interesting. Like my husband works, his business serves old people.
Yeah.
And I think in that last phase of your life, you rarely look back and wish you'd worked more.
Yeah.
So actually, for anyone listening who's got young kids, these are the years that count. It's also a great time to grow a business.
Yeah.
The balance is challenging. Okay. So if you had to give some advice to another mum who was growing a business alongside a young family, what would it be?
Oh gosh. I think definitely give yourself grace because like what I've figured out over the last 10 years is having both parents working full time is very, very hard unless you've got massive support, like a full-time nanny.
Yeah.
And I think, as it's very cliche, but just consistently doing a little bit to work towards your building your business each day, but just and looking back also to see how far you've come. But
Yes. And celebrating that because we rarely do that, and that's so important.
Yeah. But I think there's actually so many different things I could say. But yeah, and just trying to be really organized and just trying to work through the top three things that are a priority.
Love it.
I always try and think, right, what if I get to the end of today, what are the three things that I'm going to feel bad about not doing? If that makes sense. So I'm like, because things keep popping into your head. I'm like there was something I had to do earlier, and I was like, I must do that because I promised to do that yesterday. And I must do that. And I know that if I get to the end of today and I've not done that, I'll feel really bad. So I've done it. Just try. Don't they say eat the frog? Just try and
do that biggest, ugliest task first and get it done. Okay,
Yeah.
I love it. So what's been your biggest learning in the years of building your business?
Oh gosh. Again, probably a lot of different things. Um, I mean, definitely keeping up with technology, keeping up with your skills, doing maybe not going crazy with the courses, but just just making sure you're keeping up with it. I've seen
Mm.
people fall off the wagon, by not embracing, for example, Instagram.
Oh
Um,
gosh. Okay.
so when you come across businesses now that might only have Facebook and Twitter or X,
And I guess being open to the new stuff.
yeah,
I'm
definitely.
also thinking maybe not too reactive because I also see some people who they're on every new shiny new thing and they spread
Yeah,
themselves too thin and they don't get anything done.
yeah,
So being open but also being discerning.
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, like I have TikTok, and
Do you?
well, I do. I've
Oh,
I've got like something like 990 followers, just under that
love
thousand,
it. Love it. How many do you have on Instagram?
17,500.
Oh, love
Yeah.
it. Love it.
Which has taken a long time to grow. But for me, I'm not interested in getting followers outside of Tunbridge Wells, really,
Yeah.
because for the brands I work with, mostly, now I do work with some national brands, but mostly they are trying to reach local people. So
Yeah.
I really try and focus, it's not on the numbers, although 17,500 is great. Um,
Yeah. I'm nowhere near it. To be fair, like Instagram's not really my platform. I'm more of a
okay.
LinkedIn
Yeah,
girl.
I love it. But there are other local content creators who have so they sort of they they pitch themselves to local brands, but actually their following is from all over the country,
Yes.
and it's
I
just
I can imagine who you're thinking of, actually. I think we've got a
yeah.
mutual friend that's probably in your head right now. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're smashing it. For a Tunbridge Wells following, I'm amazed you've got 17,000. I didn't know there were 17,000 people here.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I
Honestly.
mean, I did, in fairness, what's the word? I grew it very slowly initially, and it's only in the last maybe 6 months to a year where I feel like I'm making more of an effort. And actually, it turns out there are lots of people on Instagram.
Yeah, loads of people.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's people from Tunbridge, Crowborough, Sevenoaks, anyone that's interested in Tunbridge Wells.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and again, you just get back what you put in with Instagram. The more you engage with people and socialize online with them, on Instagram with them, the more they will do the same with you.
Yeah, love it. Love it. And you're really good at showing up, at being visible. Your face is on Instagram like every single flipping day from what I can see. And again, it's just that consistency and showing up as yourself. I have the impression that people really get a feel for you, that you're really building a relationship with people, even people you've never met before. And that's
Yeah,
quite special.
definitely. I mean, I've definitely built friendships. A lot of obviously people I will see them out and about and that sort of thing. But it's really, yeah, and people are great at giving advice as well. I'll
Yeah.
ask, but and back and forth. And also obviously there's some amazing businesses on there and other sort of entrepreneurs who've built businesses, and it's really lovely seeing what they're doing as well.
Yeah, love it. So, what's the vision for the business in the next 5 years? Do you know where you're taking it?
Oh, good question. Um, So with my Tunbridge Wells, I definitely want to elevate I want to do a new structure, I want a new directory, one that's really sleek,
Mm-hmm.
and a new homepage. I want to sort of, I'm not sure whether I don't think we'll build a new site, but we'll certainly jazz up what we've already got, and
Mm-hmm.
probably a bit of a rebrand. Um, and just really, I'd like to really support and get like more with the businesses I'm already working with,
Mm-hmm.
as well as obviously working with new businesses. But I really want my Tunbridge Wells to be, I don't know what it already is to a degree, but the place that has all the info you need.
Mm-hmm.
Visiting Tunbridge Wells or living in Tunbridge Wells. It is more so for the people that live here. So that it's got anything and everything. I suppose what I want to do is, because I've got 10 years of content on there, I
Mm-hmm.
want to organize it a bit and
Mm-hmm.
streamline us a bit more and just have it. So if you go on and you're looking for indoor activities, you've got the, a really clear breakdown of all the different options. Same for outdoor activities, walks,
Okay.
events, and just being way ahead with everything, because it's definitely been a bit of a fly by the seat of my pants moment
Yeah. I
over
mean,
the years.
honestly, we've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah. Yeah. So just always thinking ahead. Okay, well, we've got May half term will be the next thing after Easter.
Yeah.
We've got Mother's Day, Father's Day in June, and all of that, and just working ahead, keeping them in mind.
Love it. Amazing. Okay, so the last question, or the last set of questions. If you could give Claire 10 years ago, just as she's starting up, some advice, what would it be?
Oh, well, possibly being careful who you let in to your business.
Okay, tell me more.
Um, just that I'm very trusting of people, and I do like to always see the best in
Yeah, me too.
people. Yeah. And I had a few kind of warnings from people that were sort of, I don't want to go into too much detail, but just that potentially I was losing the clearness of my site
Okay.
at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't really see it so much, but I now do see it.
Yeah. So
And
it's like being true to your brand and your authenticity,
yeah,
not letting that get diluted.
yeah, I mean the thing is I think you can outsource so much.
And you have to outsource, like you can't do everything.
No, exactly. And I definitely need to get that a little bit, right, that balance a bit better. But I think there are certain bits of your brand that maybe you don't outsource.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear
Um,
you.
yeah. And just, I suppose, on a more positive, note, that really, like, if you do put your mind to it and you put the effort in and you keep upgrading your skills and going with your gut, that you can make it work,
Yeah,
whatever
100%.
that is. You might need to pivot here and there along the way.
Yeah,
Um, but if
anything
you've
is
got
possible.
yeah, and I just think if you've got a community behind you and you've got like an audience,
Mm-hmm.
brands are
Yeah,
going to want to work with you.
yeah, I love that. So, second part of that question, if Claire from 10 years ago were to knock on the door now, what would her reaction be?
Oh wow, I think she'd be delighted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, even we worked very hard to get where we are, living just down the road from you.
Yeah, great
Um,
location.
yeah, and just the fact, like one of the brilliant things is just being able to work from home and being able to pop out to collect the kids or go to open classrooms or this or that. Yeah. And also I do actually feel a lot healthier and a lot fitter now from a
Yeah, yeah, you're looking good, looking good.
well, just thank you to Tunbridge Personal Training, because they have been
Hashtag shameless plug.
yeah.
I don't
Oh
mind.
no, but they have been brilliant.
Yeah.
Just last year, I've been working out with them for nearly a year. 10 years ago, I was not in a good place in terms of health and fitness. Just
And has that
yeah.
affected how you see yourself and your business at all?
Yeah, I think that's massively helped. With yourself with like Instagram and all of that. You need to be on it, as in you need to show your face, don't you? And I definitely, in the last few years, since beginning to be more confident, like body confident, and just feeling more energetic, I am much more open to just putting myself out there,
Yeah.
even if people don't want to see it.
And I would say you are definitely doing that. You are everywhere I look at the moment. So, Claire, listen, we had better wrap this up. Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. for anyone listening to this who's looking to connect with you, where's the best place to find you?
Currently, probably Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Tunbridge Wells. What's your handle?
Exactly. At my Tunbridge Wells.
At my Tunbridge Wells. Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's great. It's been great to chat.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for listening today. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe and leave us a review. Even better, come connect with me, Ruth Ferreira, on LinkedIn and Instagram. I'd love to get to know you.